March 2026 has brought the Middle East into one of its most tense geopolitical moments in recent years. Military confrontation involving Iran, Israel, and the United States has raised global concerns about a wider regional conflict. Airstrikes, missile launches, and rising diplomatic tensions have dominated international headlines. Governments across the world are closely watching the situation, while analysts warn that the consequences could extend far beyond the region. But the key question many people are asking is simple: who is actually winning this conflict? Is one side gaining a strategic advantage? Or are all parties facing serious risks and long-term consequences? In this video, we'll break down the situation using verified reports, expert analysis, and publicly available information to understand what is really happening, while keeping a neutral and balanced perspective. 2. How did the conflict escalate? Tensions between Iran and Israel have existed for decades. The relationship has been shaped by disagreements over regional influence, security concerns, and military capabilities. Several issues have repeatedly increased tensions, including Iran's nuclear program, missile development programs, regional alliances and proxy groups, Israel's national security concerns. In late February 2026, the situation escalated dramatically when coordinated military strikes reportedly targeted several strategic locations inside Iran. These strikes were described by international media as an attempt to limit Iran's military infrastructure and missile capabilities. Following these events, Iran responded with missile and drone attacks aimed at military targets connected to its adversaries. Within days, the confrontation grew into a wider military exchange, raising fears that the conflict could expand across the Middle East. 3. The role of the United States. The United States has been one of the most important actors in this situation. For decades, the U.S. has maintained a strong strategic partnership with Israel, particularly in defense and security cooperation. Reports indicate that American military forces in the region have taken defensive measures and supported operations aimed at protecting allied forces and strategic locations. U.S. officials have repeatedly stated that their goal is deterrence and regional stability rather than a prolonged war. However, the presence of American military bases and forces in the Middle East means that any escalation between Iran and Israel could potentially involve U.S. forces more directly. This is one reason why the conflict is being closely monitored by international organizations and global leaders. 4. Iran's response and strategy. Iran has responded by emphasizing its right to defend its territory and interests. Military analysts say Iran's strategy often focuses on a combination of missile capabilities, drone technology, regional partnerships. Iran has invested heavily in missile systems over the past 2 decades. These systems are designed to act as a deterrent and to provide a response option if the country faces military pressure. Following the recent strikes, Iran reportedly launched several missiles and drones toward targets connected to its adversaries. Iranian officials have stated that their actions are meant as defensive responses rather than offensive expansion. At the same time, Iran has warned that further escalation could lead to broader regional consequences. For Israel's military perspective, from Israel's point of view, the situation is closely tied to national security concerns. Israeli officials have repeatedly said that preventing hostile military capabilities near their borders is a top priority. Israel has one of the most technologically advanced militaries in the region. Its defense systems include advanced air defense networks, intelligence capabilities, precision strike technology. In past conflicts, Israel has relied heavily on preemptive or targeted operations to prevent threats from developing further. Supporters of Israel's strategy argue that these actions are intended to maintain long-term security. However, critics warn that repeated military exchanges could increase instability and risk broader conflict. 6. The human and economic impact. While military strategies dominate headlines, the human and economic consequences of conflict are equally important. Whenever tensions escalate in the Middle East, several major global concerns emerge: civilian safety, regional stability, global energy markets, The Middle East plays a critical role in global oil supply. Even limited conflict can influence oil prices, shipping routes, and international trade. Financial markets often react quickly to geopolitical instability, and analysts warn that prolonged tensions could affect the global economy. At the same time, humanitarian organizations often call for restraint and dialogue to prevent civilian suffering.